welcome to Parallel Lives. Today we are talking to two YouTubers who also have Maladaptive Daydreaming. My name is Levi. I am joined by my co-host Demer.
Hello.
And we hope you enjoy the episode.
Today we have Mason Bright from the channel Mason Bright and Little Old B from the channel Little Old B. And they are both dedicated YouTube channels to Maladaptive Daydreaming. So that's like kind of the only thing they talk about. So, I mean, first and most obvious question, what motivated you or inspired you to make a Maladaptive Daydreaming channel?
So I think when it came to making my channel, what inspired me to make it the most was I'd known that I had MD for a while. So I had something, not exactly what it was, but I knew something was different. And I looked for it on YouTube, and I would watch videos, but they were all like really old and outdated. And it was like a year later when I decided, well, what if since I didn't notice a lot of people making content on it, well, there's a chance people that had this would see it. I knew there was a chance some would see it, like at least a few people, maybe like 4 or 5. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'll do this. And I was very scared the first video, but what inspired me to make my channel was just to let people know that I'm just a guy. Like, I'm not a fabricated personality, and I have this. It is normal. Like, I am just me, and it's perfectly normal to have this. It's just to give people, a friend if they needed one, and to give them an outlet to talk about this and just see it for themselves.
Yeah, you're just a guy. And I've always liked that about your channel. Like, I headcanon you as like the bedroom blogger.
Headcanon.
Because that's kind of the vibe of your channel. You're just sitting in your room talking to your camera.
It's very, very sincere. I really like that about it too. It's just so real and just raw, but it's just, you can't really make it up. You're not lying or doing like some extra character for attention. It's just your experience.
What about you, B? What got you started on doing this?
So I actually, in my high school, I was doing a one-act show in my drama class about dissociative identity disorder. So to do research for that, because I wanted to do that right, I found myself watching YouTubers like with dissociative identity disorder. After that whole experience, I kind of realized, because I kind of already knew what maladaptive daydreaming was and was aware that I had it. So I was like, maybe there's the same kind of thing for maladaptive daydreaming. So I just searched it up, and what came up was a lot of like more scientific stuff. It was stuff like, here are the symptoms, it was a lot of it either made by people who didn't have maladaptive daydreaming or just had maladaptive daydreaming but wasn't making content for maladaptive daydreamers. They were making content to kind of tell people who don't maladaptive daydream what it is. And so I only actually found like 2 or 3 channels that were by maladaptive daydreamers for maladaptive daydreamers. And that kind of made me sad, actually, because it was like, there was potential for a big community. And obviously I just hadn't found it with my quick Google search, because it was here long before I joined. But I just figured if I want to be part of this community, I should be, if I want to see more maladaptive daydreaming content on YouTube, then somebody has to make it. So I might as well give it a shot and hope for the best. And thankfully it all worked out and it's been really fun. But like, the motivation to want to make something for maladaptive daydreamers by maladaptive daydreamers was really my big motivation, I'd say.
Be the content you want to see, said by every like forum moderator in the history of the internet.
Yeah,
it's so true.
much.
I'm not surprised, actually. I'm like not even a little surprised to hear that your background was in drama, like after watching your videos.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yes. I'm very thankful for that, because it's like the first videos I made, like the very first video I made, I was obviously nervous. It was like just kind of like not knowing what to expect. But like, actually, the first video I filmed, I didn't upload until way later. By the time I published my first couple videos, I'd already made one. So it's kind of like, it felt better not starting off with that nervous energy. Once I'd figured out kind of the logistics of it and like kind of just where I want to set everything up, how I want to like the style more of the videos, whether planning and like scripting is better than just going natural and conversational and just talking. I felt like that background in drama really helped actually, because it was like I already knew how to kind of make content, make scenes, make other kinds of stuff like that. So transitioning it into just a video format was the hardest part, was figuring out the editing. But again, that's not that hard with my kind of videos that are just kind of like simple cuts and stuff. So drama background was actually really helpful for me.
So, have there been any benefits to sharing your experiences online?
Yeah, I'd definitely say so, because sharing my experiences online helped me find a community of people. Long story short, on my first video, Dimmer left a comment, and it was, there was like a lot of us, and that was great to hear that. And I found this community, and I was able to get things off my chest and talk to people that had MD and people that were like me. And I for once in a long time, I finally didn't feel alone in the world. So it gave me a strong sense of community and almost a purpose. And the nice people that leave nice comments on my channel, it made me feel like I was doing something good for people. It gave me purpose at a time where my life didn't have one, and it quite literally changed the entire scope of how I am.
Yeah, it's just like my story is actually very similar, because it was my first video too. Dimmer left a comment on my video too. And I actually
There's
have
a
the
trend here.
screenshot. Hmm?
There's a trend here.
Yeah, there's a trend here.
Yeah.
But like, oh my gosh, the notification, because I got a notification on my phone when she posted that comment, and I still have the screenshot from that comment. And it's like, because I fully did not expect anyone to actually watch the first videos. I thought I was going to get to kind of the point I am now, like lengthwise, like a few like months in, and then maybe start picking up a little bit of traction, and then kind of I thought that was going to be the road. I thought that was going to be the plan. It was going to be a lot longer and a lot slower than it was, and like that's really thanks to that comment, like the comment Dimmer left, saying basically just like saying again, like Mason was saying, there's a whole community of people that are active and that will want to talk about it and want to engage with the people like it. Like there's a bunch of other people that are like you that aren't like ashamed of it. Like that really made me want to keep doing, but just like it made me want to be part of the community more. So it's really helped me on that like level of like acceptance and wanting to be involved. But it's also helped with just kind of telling other people about me, because like I struggle to like talk about it. Like if I'm having a face-to-face conversation with someone who's not a maladaptive daydreamer, I just lose everything in my mind about what it is.
Yeah.
Like how to describe it. Like I suddenly don't know how to talk anymore. It's just it's a lot easier to just say like having the videos that I've put together what I think is my best interpretation of maladaptive daydreaming now. If people want to know what it is, or other people that are in my life want to know what it is, I can say, well, instead of having me being a bumbling mess to you, here's a video that I think describes me best. And that's been really beneficial to just getting people to understand more, just using the online resources that either I create or that other people create has been really helpful and beneficial for uploading content.
Especially like with this, I know what that's like, because when it comes to trying to explain it to people, it's almost like having like a superhero secret identity when you have MD. It's like I have to tell you something, like I'm Superman or whatever. It's like, it's like you have a whole second life. It felt like to me I had like a whole second life nobody knew about. It's like I was like Batman or something. It was like crazy, because I'd never talked about it with anyone, and I eventually like had to tell people. And I'm fortunate that people in my life, like my grandma, my friend Jason, all of you guys, my girlfriend, everyone like understands my MD once I explained it to them. Like they understand it very well, and I'm just so thankful to have, like, my grandma is just kind of like, whatever, he has his daydreaming thing. She doesn't think it's that big of a deal. But like it that's just the fact that she's even able to be like, oh, it's fine, you know, and not be like mentally and like just scared for my well-being, you know, is great. I'm glad she doesn't think I'm crazy. I'm glad she doesn't think that, you know, I'm weird, you know. My it's great to have people in your corner like that.
I'm like, okay, I'm having my mind kind of blown right now. So for anyone in the audience who doesn't know, both Levi and I also started on YouTube. So we're both kind of familiar with that platform. And what I'm hearing from both of you, and what I'm pretty sure I've heard Levi like mention before, is like showing the videos to people in your life, real people, family members and friends and stuff. And like I'm very secretive. Nobody's I know has ever seen my videos. I won't even let my husband watch my videos. And you guys just out here like sharing them? Is that for real?
Yeah. My I kid you not, right? I mentioned my YouTube channel to my girlfriend. She comes to me the next day and says, I watched all of your videos. And I'm like, what? You didn't have to do that. She's like, yeah, but I wanted to know more about your daydreaming thing. So I just went and watched it. And she's like, I'm like, so do you kind of grasp it now? She's like, oh, yeah, it's cool. I literally will be having a conversation. It made my life so much better to share it. Like, she understands we all have our struggles. You know, she has hers too. So it's like, one understands me. Like, it's like, yay. Made my life so much better.
I also share my own channel and other people's channels with friends. You know, especially because I'm a junior mod in a really big server. So when I see that I meet a ton of people. So when I see that they're like talking about, let's say, you know, daydreaming vividly or pacing around while listening to music, I'd be like, "Yo, so I don't know if you've heard of this thing, but yeah, so anyway, here's the YouTube channels if you want to learn more about it and stuff like that." So yeah, I don't know. I really agree with Mason. It's just it's interesting.
I've shown my channel to one person in my life, in my actual life, and that's my boyfriend, because it just kind of got to a point where, because we do lots of talking through Discord, actually, like lots of our conversations take place through Discord because we can't be together all the time because there's still quite a lot of COVID restrictions where I live. So it's kind of our best bet. But having those conversations over Discord, it's a lot harder for me to fight that kind of daydreaming urge and to not daydream, because it's like, I don't know, it's just these conversations through like computers just aren't the same as having a physical person there in ways of you to like be like, I can't daydream now, there's a person right in front of me. It's like, so I got to a point where I was like, he's probably noticing I'm spacing out a lot. He's probably noticing that like I'm asking him to repeat himself. He's not dumb. He's probably noticed that something's up. And then we actually had a conversation. It was only a few days ago, actually, where I basically said, like, you cannot tell anyone. You can't tell our other friends. You can't tell like anyone. But I'm gonna send you something, and you can't tell anyone. And so then I sent him like my channel, because he said he wanted to learn more about it. He wanted to know more about like just about my experience with maladaptive daydreaming, but it's also maladaptive daydreaming as a whole. So like, I was like, oh no, I've got all these resources. I know all these people who make great videos and everything. And then I was like, oh wait, I know that I have to tell you how I know this and how I've met these people now. So he's the only person I've actually given my channel to in my actual life, but he took it a lot better than I was like could ever hope.
They always do. And in most cases, I find that most people do. It's at least better than you think.
Oh yeah. It's like, I knew he wouldn't be like dismissive or anything. Like I knew he'd be okay with it, but he took it like way better than I thought he was going to.
You knew he wasn't going to leave you.
I didn't think he was going to leave me, but I thought it'd be kind of like okay, so you do this thing, I'll learn the basics, and then we kind of don't talk about it. And that's kind of what I was expecting. Like, he's accepting of it, but we just
Yeah.
don't kind of talk about it. But he wants to learn about it, and that made me like maybe I should share my channel with other people, because like I don't think everyone's gonna react like he will, but like maybe like some couple of my best friends, like maybe they won't be like, so you're like, they won't be like, oh, you're weird, like not weirded out that like not only am I Maladaptive Daydreaming, but also making videos and posting videos about it. Like, I personally like, yeah, it's no, I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it to like anyone until a couple days ago. Nobody knew. So like, I definitely get where Timur's coming from, but it's like, I feel like once you get that kind of like one positive experience, it's like, maybe it's not so bad. So now I'm kind of considering, should I tell more people about it? Should I like be more open about it? Obviously, like people that like you trust, because like I don't want to. I'm not gonna be like posting it on like my private Instagram and everything. Like, hey, look what I'm doing to like everybody in my everybody who I don't even know that well, for everybody to see. But like starting off small, I feel like maybe it won't be so bad if a couple of my closest friends know about it.
Would you guys encourage other maladaptive daydreamers to also start their own channels?
Yes. I'd say it definitely has some downsides. Having an online presence does have downsides, but overall, I feel like it's been way more helpful than it has been harmful. Like, it's just, if you're comfortable in front of a camera, if you want to do this kind, like if you want to make maladaptive daydreaming videos, I'd say go for it. Like, it's such an amazing way to get into the community. Like we've been saying, you get exposed to such a bigger part of the maladaptive daydreaming community, and that in itself is like irreplaceable. And so you just learn a lot more about yourself and just challenge yourself. Like, I didn't know how to edit at all before I started, and now I've like learned how to edit. I'm like, well, learning how to edit. Obviously there's still a lot to learn, but like I'm learning how to edit, learning how to make thumbnails, how to do all this kind of stuff. Like, I'm learning other skills as well as learning about myself, because lots of the stuff that like I make videos on, I then can look at comments and be like, oh yeah, I never thought, like you get different perspectives, and getting those different perspectives on your own opinions causes you to learn about yourself, because you either reevaluate your own ideas and your own beliefs and stuff and think like, oh, maybe this is a little, like you kind of can adapt to, you're exposed to so much more knowledge because people are kind of coming to you with knowledge. So you don't even have to go and like seek it out. If you have questions, there are people who are going to answer them. Like, the internet is such an amazing resource, and it's a direct way to talk to people in the maladaptive daydreaming community, and just get into and just find a space in this community. So I definitely recommend it to anyone who is comfortable in front of a camera and who would want to do it. If you just have to have that want, or else it's not going to work out, I feel.
Yeah. For a little extra added security, I would say if you're nervous, like I agree with everything that B just said, but like for a little added extra security, if you'd like a tip, if you're really worried about not letting people find it, create like a different YouTube like channel, like an account that's not related to like, you know, the one you use to like comment on videos and stuff, and give it a name that isn't related to like your name or wouldn't give away who you are, and then post and don't tell anybody about it, because the likelihood that they'll find it if it's through something else is kind of low. If you're using like your main YouTube account and like, you know, they know you on that account, they'll recognize you. But chances are the only person who would find you if you had like a second channel, like a secret channel, would be someone in your school or in your life who has MD. And I don't think that they would judge you for it if they found it. They would actually probably sympathize with you. Because I don't think someone who with MD would want to expose somebody else with it, you know?
I also feel that if you feel uncomfortable showing your face on YouTube, then you can think of creative ways to not show your face on YouTube.
Oh, totally.
Uh, like the gaming side of YouTube started the VTubing stuff. Maybe something like that. Just figure out your niche, and just remember that you can be completely anonymous online. You know.
My first videos were stick figure slideshows with text written on them that I made in MS Paint.
Yay. That's amazing. We love that.
Oh god.
Like I watched those videos. That was like when I first found your channel. Like I scrolled down to the bottom to see, and like those were the videos that I first watched were the stick figure ones actually, and I actually really like those ones.
I really like those ones too. Actually, Halo just asked in the audience, what do you think your best video is? And weirdly, my best video was my very first video. It's called like A Day in the Life or something. And not only do I think it's my best video, but like everybody else does too. It by many thousands of views, like is the best performing one I've ever had. I peaked early. What about you guys though? Like, what do you think is your best video, and like, is it your best performing one?
Oh man. I think I watch my video, the first one I made about maladaptive daydreaming, and everything that comes after that is just it just stems from that. And without that, I wouldn't be like where I am. It's my most viewed MD video, like by far. And it's like it means a lot to me because I watch it back and in my chest I get scared for what I'm about to say. Because I can see in my eyes how riddled with anxiety I am about what I'm about to do. Like, I brush it off like, oh yeah, I just make videos about my daydreaming, just putting my important social life out there, just stuff that, people probably don't talk about. No big deal. But I was terrified. Oh, it was bad. Like, if you look at it, I'm jumpy, I'm talking fast, I'm scared. And I love it because I get to observe myself in a state of being absolutely uncomfortable. And it's my first video. I'm not trying to do a shameless plug here. I'm just saying, if you're nervous about making a video, your first maladaptive daydreaming video, watch mine. I'm a nervous wreck the whole time. It's great. And I think it's my best video.
Oh my gosh. My best video. Like that's a hard question because it's like depending on what mood I'm in, I like different ones because like I have a more kind of like lighthearted kind of series, and then I have my like more kind of informative ones. So depending on how I'm feeling, those two series like change. But like my favorite between those two changes based on how I'm feeling. But like probably my favorite video is it's probably the community debate one I did actually. That one's probably my favorite.
That one's my favorite of yours too.
It's sad because that's actually like my worst performing maladaptive daydreaming video. So it's like I'm still gonna do them. I actually have another one that I want to do, but like that one's probably my favorite just because I feel like that was something creative that I did. Like my one series, like my Living with Mad series, is something I feel like most maladaptive daydreamers do. It's me talking about my experience, and I love making those. I still love those videos, but it's like it's not very original. I feel, but it doesn't have to be. And like my other ones, my like mini Mad Moments ones are fun, but they're like harder to do, and I don't have as much fun making them. But like something about that community debate one, like I had like a mini costume on. I had like it was just something that I was proud of for thinking of that idea and then executing. I was proud of the execution. And so that one's probably my favorite video that I've made.
Mine is a meme video. Maladaptive daydreaming memes. People really love that, huh?
Because they're funny.
Yeah, and very, very relatable. I always feel very called out when I see memes that are about maladaptive daydreaming, or even immersive daydreaming for that matter.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So there's another question from the audience, which is something that I'm actually also interested in, very interested in. Did you guys get any negative or trolling comments or responses to videos? And if so, how do you sort of cope with the negativity?
Oh man, I definitely have gotten a few. It how I coped with it, because I had a comment that I'm just if I can I'm looking for right now. It was something like I'm gonna put you, as like people saying they were gonna like put me in like a mental hospital and stuff and telling me like I needed help. Like it was just like really stupid. Someone telling I was like pacing back and forth. It was a video of me pacing back and forth in my room, and someone told me it was this. They were like, "This looks like some haunted house shit." Like, and I was like, "Oh, that doesn't make me feel too good." But it's just you really do kind of have to just pack it in and move on. Like I know it sucks, but if those people like have the time to sit there and troll you, I mean, they must be living some really sad, sad lives. Like, you can't let people like that. And I know this is like going to be so oft repeated, but you can't let people like that live in your head rent free, because they don't matter if they're taking time out of their busy schedule to make fun of you, someone with, you know, a sort of disorder who's trying to share it and give your experiences in like the sweetest way possible. We're not forcing anything on anyone. We're not bad people. So it's like, it's just kind of undeserved and makes no sense. So they can screw off.
Yeah, I actually haven't had like a negative or like a hateful comment yet. Thankfully, I know they're probably coming, but like, I don't know. I've had one comment that was just like asking questions. They like didn't know anything about Maladaptive Daydreaming. It was asking questions. And while the phrasing, if you squinted, could have came off as kind of inconsiderate and maybe a little rude, it's really just someone asking questions. So like, I've been thankful to not have to, but I feel like my coping strategy would just be the same as other, like receiving negativity in real life, like offline. Just because it's online doesn't mean that the criticism or the hate is any more warranted or any more valid. It's not. So just kind of remember all the positive comments, that all of the comments are positive, or almost all of the comments are positive. So if you're getting way more positive comments than negative comments, then the outlier is clearly the negative comment. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything bad. Just like Mason was saying, it's just one troll who wants to spend their time spreading hate. Focus on the people that are actually benefiting from your channel and what you're doing, because those are the people that are going to keep coming back, and those are the people that are going to keep watching, and those are the people that want to hear what you have to say. And so like focus on them, because they're the ones that matter.
For me, I don't think I've necessarily gotten any hate comments. I have gotten some comments where people aggressively disagree with me, but for me, I tell myself, well, regardless of what I'm going to say, there will always be people who will disagree with me. And, at the end of the day, I'm allowing people to not like my content, or to not like what I say, or not to like me. And that's okay. They don't have to like me. And, I see negative feedback as good feedback regardless. So even if people spam your videos with bad comments or dislikes, that still counts on the YouTube algorithm as interaction. So really, they're just doing you a good favor.
Yes, any comment is a good comment, because the analytics are going to be good no matter what, as long as there's a comment.
Yep.
How do you guys handle like the balance? I don't know. Like it takes a while. It takes a while, especially with yours, B, where you put in a lot of editing to come up with an idea, to sit down to record. And then on top of that, you have this disorder that makes you very distracted and prone to procrastination and such. So yeah, like how does it affect, your schedule? How do you get things done?
We're gonna pretend I wasn't just gone for a few months there. Um, yeah, that balance is really hard to achieve, I feel. Because I'm in university. I'm a full-time university student as well. Trying to balance university, YouTube, and just having a social life and daydreaming is a lot. So honestly, it's just learning to prioritize, because it's gonna suck if you like. It's very hard to do, in specifically my case, all four of those things. So sometimes you have to put one to the side for a little bit to focus on the others. Even when, like, in the last couple months where I wasn't posting anything, I would get moments where I did have time. I would be free to potentially record something, but instead of doing that, I would daydream. Either sometimes it would be about filming, so at least I could potentially come up with another idea, but like most of the time it was just daydreaming. It's just a lot of prioritizing, because sometimes you're mad, like Maladaptive Daydreaming is just not cooperating. And so sometimes you just can't get anything done in a day. And at least I'm working on that control more, but some days are just bad. So some days I just can't, and then I'll have to do the work from that day the next day and everything, and it's just a lot of prioritizing, taking time to kind of realize, like, okay, this is too much right now. I need to either take a break from YouTube. I need to either take a break from another activity in your life, like in life, just to kind of, because overall your health and your like well-being is way more important than a video or statistics on a video. Putting something out, I feel like that, like at least for me, if I like putting out a video that I'm not proud of, is worse just putting out nothing. Because if I could put out like a 2 minute or not like a 2 minute, but like if I put out something that I like hastily rushed through, I didn't actually take my time in thinking about what I wanted to say, like I didn't plan or do like provide something that I'm proud of, then I'm just going to feel worse, and it's going to make me not want to make videos anymore. So just kind of sometimes, and I feel like this is a great community because people understand that. I feel like we've all had things where we've stopped doing something that we liked or we like to do because daydreaming just took over that time. And once that time is gone, you can't like just get it back. Like it's Maladaptive Daydreaming does get in the way, like it does with everything else. It's just kind of how do I kind of realizing and evaluating, how do I feel in the moment? How would I feel if I put up a video that wasn't good? And maybe a break is just what is the best for the longevity of the channel and the longevity of my well-being and my mental health.
Yeah. I'm of the mindset for mine upload schedule and videos and stuff like that, where it's like, if I don't like ideas for me don't really like my channel is very much about like the stuff that happens to me, with MD, and it's like, sometimes stuff don't be happening. Like it's just like, I could be like those story time YouTubers and just make up a story and be like, oh, this happened. Well, see you next week. Like I could do that, but I don't want to do that. I want my stories to be real and authentic, and it's about my experience. It's the Mason Bright experience. Like it's supposed to be that, and that's what I want. So like if I don't feel like uploading something, I'm not gonna upload. I have a little bit of I'm not disappointing anyone. I hope. um it's like I'd rather take my time, like B said, and put out something that I'm happy with. And if I'm not happy with something, like if I didn't upload for like 2 months, I would give some sort of update, like to where I was, like, and that I'm okay. But like I always like I took like a month off of YouTube because I was just going through some really bad stuff. And I opened my video up when I came back with like the guiltiest expression because I know I haven't been there in a bit. But at the same time, I enjoyed it because I was making something. I got the spark and I wanted to make something, just like I have a video idea brewing right now. I get excited to make stuff. Like it's almost like manic. Like I get like a period when I think about making a YouTube video, I'm like, oh, I should do this, and I get really excited and hyper, and mania kicks in, and then I think about it and hyper fixate on it for hours. Like, and then I upload it.
I guess it's each of us has our own flow sort of to how things work and how we upload and stuff like that. I personally haven't uploaded in like 2 months. Oops. And real life stuff happens, and it just do be like that, like Mason said. It depends. It depends on the uploader. So
Life catches up on you. Whereas when I first started, I didn't have it sounds terrible, but when I first started, I didn't really have like a life. Like I didn't have to worry about anyone else, let alone myself, because everything was like months in the future, and it's like I didn't have to worry about anything for a few months, so I kind of just didn't care about anything. Like it's like whatever. But then people in my life, I was kind of sleeping all day for a while. They just expressed their concern. And it was like, oh, okay. I probably need to get myself in gear here and start doing stuff. So real life does happen, and I think people around you can sometimes provide the kick that you need.
do you guys regret saying anything publicly about your maladaptive daydreaming or your life experiences on your YouTube channels?
Nope. Short answer is no. And honestly, like I've scrapped videos before because if I wasn't comfortable with saying something, I wouldn't. But I'm okay. Listen, my most embarrassing paracosms are out there, and people can feel free to look and check it out anytime they want. So it's like I'm not. I mean, I got nothing to hide. I don't. Do I regret it? No, not now. Because it's like, oh, it's already out there. People have already seen it. It's like if I took it down now, there's no point. Damage is already done. So I'm happy that it's out there, and I'm happy that there's nothing I can do about it.
No, same thing. I don't regret anything because again, it's like if I'll watch all my videos again before I post them, and I'll usually edit my stuff the day after, so it's kind of like I'll have a somewhat fresh perspective. So if I say something in a video that I'm like, maybe shouldn't put that out there, then I can just cut it out. I mean, so like I'm kind of my own filter for that kind of stuff. I don't have anything like I regret sharing about my stuff personally. It's just sometimes I forget how much I share, how much I put out there. So then, like my boyfriend was like, he asked me about my parame yesterday, and I was like, "How do you know that?" And I was like, "Oh, wait, right, because I talked about her a lot in one of my videos." So it's like I sometimes forget how much I like talk about, which it's not a regret. It's just sometimes I forget, and I'm surprised by it when people were like, "Oh yes, this specific para or this paracosm." I'm like, "Oh right, people know what those are because I told them." And then it's fine again. It's just the moment of. I don't think I'll ever stop having that moment of shock.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said about the oversharing part for me, because it's like sometimes I'm very open when I just talk in front of a camera, and then when I'm editing, I'm like, yikes, dude, maybe I shouldn't say that, and then I'm kind of stuck on whether I should include something or not. So I definitely agree with you on that as well, where it's just like people tell you something that you said, and then you think, did I ever say it? And then yes, you did. So yeah, I that's very relatable to me as well.
One of my, I wouldn't say it's a regret, but one of my cautions, my biggest cautions is like apparent, because I know some people don't like hearing about other people's like paras and paracosms. So I don't want to be like make like my entire video just about specifics about my paras and paracosms, because I know that some like people, you're either uncomfortable hearing that or just don't want to hear that. So it's like but also it's kind of like my evidence. Like I'll talk about something I do and then I'll supplement it with an example. And so it's like trying to find that balance between mentioning and sharing enough about my paras and paracosms as opposed to being like if people, I don't want to make people like uncomfortable if they don't want to hear about it either. So that's a balance I'm trying to find still.
Has speaking of like characters and parames and stuff like that, like has being on YouTube like affected your daydreaming, like the content? Like I don't know, are your characters YouTubers now or something, or even the physical side of it, like are you able to set daydreaming aside? Because we're always told to get a hobby, right? That's what people tell maladaptive daydreamers, like get something to fill the space. Is YouTube something that does that for you? It's that like your get a hobby?
I guess, I mean, would you consider like, I mean, it's like you'd probably consider it goofing off, but would you consider playing video games a hobby?
Yes.
I like playing. I just play like a ton of video games. It's like, and I get like really into it and stuff. So it's like that's sort of my hobby. And to answer the other question, my well, they were tied into the same thing, but my characters don't really know about my YouTube because my daily life is sort of separate from my maladaptive daydreaming. Sometimes sometimes you hear them calling to you to come daydream, but you know, outside of that, they don't really invade too much of my life, unless obviously I'm in this state to daydream, or I'm doing a repetitive motion or something.
That's funny because like most of the time when I'm filming, like I'm daydreaming. I'm in a daydream.
She's famous.
Well, it's like, I don't know, it's like just the version of me that films videos is not really a fully fledged parame, but like it's kind of a more energetic version of me that is like, I don't know, it's like whenever I'm filming, it's just it is a daydream. It's so when I'm filming, I actually like that kind of like, it's very interesting because it's like I'll be filming on my own, but then after that after I'm done filming, I'll usually still daydream about being a YouTuber for like like after that. So it's like I wouldn't say it's like a full paracosm or even a full parame because it only like it only happens after I'm filming or like after I'm like uploaded something and I'm like it's only when I'm doing something directly related to my channel that like kind of like daydream about it. Like if I'm not on my channel, then I don't daydream about it. It doesn't like, it's not a permanent, it's very situation based. It's very temporary. So like it definitely has affected it, but not like in a super major way. It's just kind of become a mini parame that I daydream about while I'm filming or while I'm doing something directly related to the channel. But other than that, it's not really affecting my life because I'm not really thinking about it if I'm not looking at it because I'm doing something else and thinking about something else and daydreaming about something else. So it doesn't really come up too often outside of kind of direct interaction with the channel.
That makes me wonder, like how. Well, I guess you already touched on it. How different are we from like our online personas? I'm a lot nicer on my channel than I am in real life.
I'd like to think I am too.
Yeah, Dimmer's mean. No, I'm kidding.
Well, as a content creator, you know, you have a responsibility to your audience, and not just to your audience, but to maladaptive daydreaming itself, to represent it well and spread, you know, at least not harmful information. And so I'm always writing a balance in my videos that I don't feel personally like, well, that's probably a bad way to put it, but like you know how there's divides in the community, like some people like this and other people hate that, and in real life I might hate that, but on my channel I'll try to present it neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Me, I don't think I got that. Maybe I didn't get that memo with the welcome to the community gift basket because I don't. I don't. I mean, I'm honest. I've cut stuff out of videos that I've said, but with me, it's not really. I've never cut something out of a video because I thought it would offend people. I've cut stuff out of videos that that I don't like the way I said it. Like I don't try. Like I'll say something. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, but I might not like how I say it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm always gonna be honest. Like I'm never gonna be like, if I have an opinion on something, I'm gonna be honest, but I'm honest in the nicest way I can be. Like I have a hard time being neutral when I don't when I just I it's just when it's just not right. When I know something just doesn't sit right with me. And you know, on my channel, in videos where I've talked about stuff that doesn't sit right with me, a lot of the times people have been on my side because I've presented it in a way that makes sense to them. And, some people have disagreed with me, some have agreed. That's fine. You're open to do that. I like that. I like that people are different. That's the great thing about people. We're all different. But I'm also willing to change that opinion. But if I don't upon further discovery and further learning about something. But if I have an opinion, I'm not gonna be. I don't think it's necessarily my biggest thing with trying to be. I'm not really different. Like I may be a little down on my channel sometimes just because it's hard to talk about. But that's just like it's sensitive stuff, and that's my sensitive mode, I guess. I'm being open. I'm being vulnerable. But like right now, I'm like whatever. I'm just chilling.
Because I'd been on Tumblr, like that's where like I first kind of started interacting with the community was on Tumblr, and I actually discovered the term from Tumblr. So a lot of like the basic information, like the first information I had about maladaptive daydreaming came from Tumblr resources, and like this is nothing bad about Tumblr, but like Tumblr has a very specific image of what maladaptive daydreaming is and what it looks like, or at least the stuff that I was looking at. It was very much like it was just kind of like if it was very set what it was. Like you daydreamed for how like a number plus hours. It was very kind of like concrete stuff. So when I first started making my YouTube videos, like I hadn't really been too much into the YouTube community and I was still just kind of relying on Tumblr. So I was like, if I don't fit most of these ideals, these Tumblr ideals, then people are going to think I'm not a maladaptive daydreamer, which isn't true. And there's no one way to daydream. And I'm like looking back and reevaluating where I got my information. Now, like I was on very unreliable sources, so I should have looked for better sources. But so lots of like the stuff that I said in like the first video I filmed, not the first video on my channel, but the first video I filmed it was still me, it was still authentic in what I believed, but I found myself like changing up small details from like what actually happened because it was like to make it more maladaptive daydreaming friendly, which which I've since stopped doing, like changing details that don't matter. Like the first video on my channel, mini mad moments, a couple things in there that weren't the true experience to what I had felt, because I thought, oh, based on what I'd seen on Tumblr, it should be like this. And so I found that like I've distanced myself from that view, and I've been more open and honest in that regard. But I've also, finding these better resources, have found sometimes there are certain topics that it's better to be neutral on. It's not worth starting a fight because it's just going to cause problems. So lots of those kind of bigger issues, I either will just steer clear of talking about until I have like a set stance or a set video idea specifically for that. I won't just mention it in passing, or I'll talk about it neutrally, like you were saying, Dimmer. Like it's just kind of it's just kind of a avoidance of controversy, because it's not worth making some people upset or making some people like giving like a power trip maybe to like someone else who's like, yes, this person agrees with me and is telling all these other people that don't, like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like neutral's kind of the way to go, unless I have like a personal stake in it. Like if I don't know what I'm talking, like if I haven't in those kind of big community issues, like I'll talk about them once I have an opinion, or once I've researched enough to have an opinion, and then I'll try and still be pretty neutral, because I know likely not all the people who watch the video are going to agree with me. And I don't want to like put someone off for something kind of seemingly minor in the grand scheme of things.
I think that's a good way to go about it, because at the end of the day, the community is going to start sort of branching off. If one person has one opinion and another person has another opinion, then it sort of creates a clash within the community. And then it's just a whole bunch of people who are arguing and stuff like that, So I think it's good to sort of remind ourselves that, yeah, we are talking about mental health. So there is a very sort of delicate, fine line on what we can say that won't get us in trouble, and what we can say, but someone might take it wrong. They might hear it out of context or something like that. But I guess that just comes with the whole thing of being online and talking to thousands of people. It's someone out there is gonna get upset at something eventually.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, do you have any tips or advice for others that may want to create maladaptive daydreaming YouTube channels?
Have an idea of what you want to do. Have a goal, because there's going to be days where Mad does get in the way, where you don't film for a month or two. You just, life will get in the way, and it's just having a goal of what you want to achieve for this channel, whether it's just like something small and it's sort of a personal goal to you, whether it's something like a big goal that you want to have for the community as a whole. Just, it doesn't really matter as long as it's something. Have kind of a reason for why you're doing it, and keep that reason in mind when things start to get more difficult, because that's what's going to keep you on track and keep you wanting to make videos.
Yeah, I agree. My tip is, even if you're not yourself, posing as yourself, even if you're doing like Levi said, like the VTuber thing, or like you're wearing a mask or something, like still try to, like, don't, just try to be yourself as much as you're able to. Because I think a little bit of relatability and honesty and a little bit of you goes a long way for helping people relate and understand. I just think that is one of the most important things, like we all have it, and it's like we're not gonna hurt you, we don't bite, a lot of us, so it's like you can cover your face, you can do the animations, you can do whatever you need to make you feel comfortable enough to make videos. But if you're going to make videos, I think being yourself to a degree that you're comfortable with goes miles for people.
Kind of a final question, I guess, is future. What's it looking like? Do you guys want to stay on the platform like long term? What do you want to see happen with your channel? What do you think will happen with maladaptive daydreaming and YouTube, like in general? Like, is there going to be a new wave of? Do you feel a new wave of YouTubers coming?
I think with the channel, what I want to do is, obviously, I think people that, as more young people that understand, I say that like I'm old, I'm only 18. I say that when people who know a lot about technology, like the MDers who know a lot about technology, really get into it, I think there's going to be some super high quality videos. And I think when it's time for me to get put out the pasture with my simple videos, I think that I think that's just going to happen. But I want to stick around for definitely as long as I can. Because it was never about how many views I got. It was never how many subs I had. Like, I love all that stuff because that's support and lets me know that people care. But at the same time, I have to care. And if I don't care, I'm not gonna make videos. And I do care. Even if like just a few people, like I used to have another YouTube channel where nobody would watch my videos. I would get like 2 viewers, and it was like some friends I showed, and I still made videos. I was still passionate about it. I mean, they were cringy as heck, but like, it's okay. Like I was happy. I've always wanted to make content. It's just with MD and me being so real and talking about personal experiences, it's a little bit harder because with my other channel, I was making video games, so I like always had content because I'm always playing games 24/7. But it just the MD videos are super personal to me, and I love them, and I always want to make them. I'm still growing. I'm still young. It's like there's gonna be like a lot of me to share growing up, what it's like to do this as an MD, or what it's like to experience this as an MD, or what my experience in the future as a parent with MD like is gonna be like. My channel has like, as long as I'm growing, my channel has a stream of content, and even if it's not the most entertaining stuff in the world, it's I want to share my experiences to help people, like just everyday people. So like I'm as long as I'm passionate about making videos, my upload schedule might be month to month sometimes, but like I'm never gonna run out of things. And life itself provides the content, and I'm in love with that.
Yeah. I definitely think that just like Mason, I want to stick around for kind of as long as I am able, because there's one of my mini goals is in a few years to make a video looking back on the stuff I'm making now and just seeing the growth in myself, in hopefully the channel, in just kind of the awareness of maladaptive daydreaming and the world, just kind of hoping people, like seeing how far kind of the community has come since today, since I've started doing like the channel and stuff. It's like Mason was saying, even if even if I have the best control over my daydreams ever, I'm still gonna daydream. There's still content always there. The experiences of maladaptive daydreamers are always gonna be different to people who don't have it. So like just knowing that there's someone out there at any life stage who's going through the same thing that you are and can maybe make a joke, like you can maybe have like a relatable joke about it, like just kind of knowing that it's not something to be ashamed of and it's not something you have to go through alone. It's something that anyone at any point in their life can do. And so that's, like Mason was saying, just kind of being able to see how much I've changed, but also hopefully people can see that any 18-year-old, any kid can just start making videos and can be happy enough making, and like is happy enough making those, that to keep doing it, to keep documenting like their life. And so you have something to look back on, you have something to show how much you've grown, how much you've changed as a person, how much everything is kind of adapted. And I'm very excited to keep making videos, because that's something that I like to do. It's something that is making maladaptive daydreaming more well known. So hopefully someday there will be lots of viewers on our channels that don't have maladaptive daydreaming and just want to learn about it, so that we're like to make a difference in that sort of regard. That's also one of my main goals, is to just have people who don't know about maladaptive daydreaming learn about it, and then maybe they'll share it and then they'll talk about it with their friends, and so on and so on, and then hopefully we just get more well known, because we're still pretty much a relatively small community. So I really want to see it grow. I think it will grow, and I think that that's really good for the community, because the more people talk about it, then the more people will know about it, and the more people will be able to will get farther. Like I think I said in one of my first videos that if nobody talks about Maladaptive Daydreaming, we're never going to get anywhere. The community's never going to grow. We're never going to make progress onto what it actually is. We're never going to be able to go anywhere if we don't talk about it. So I feel like it's going to grow. I feel like we're going to get more, or hopefully we get more Maladaptive Daydreaming YouTubers, because the more corners of the internet we can reach with is really, I feel, going to be beneficial to us. So I really hope that it's going to grow, and that specifically the YouTuber community will grow.
That are starting a Maladaptive Daydreaming YouTube channel. Can I give a little bit of advice, guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you might have like 10 people watching your videos when you first start. Most cars only hold like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 4, 5-ish, if you count the middle back seat. So picture 10 people standing in a room in your house. That's a lot of people. Like that, like just imagine, and I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but just imagine 10 human beings all standing around you. Like that's like a party, That's a lot. And it might not look like a lot when you're just looking at a number on the screen, but 10 individual people clicked on your video and watched it. So it blows me away every time I look at one of my videos and I see, in the beginning it was like 10 and then 20 and then, oh my, 30 people watched it. 60 people watched this? Like, it was like, it continues to blow me away. Like, because, I mean, like 30 people, that's like 2 classrooms. Like, that's crazy. Like, be thankful for that. It's, if you're ever feeling like, oh, people aren't watching it, and because you're only getting like 10 viewers, 5 viewers, that's a lot of people in the grand scheme of things. Like, it really is.
Yeah, it does. It sounds
sneaks up
super
on you.
corny. Yeah, it's super corny, but it's like that. If I can help just one person, but when you get your first like fan mail comment, that's like, oh my God, you changed my life. I never knew about this. Like
Yeah.
that one person kind of makes the whole channel worth it.
I cried. Like, I felt like I was gonna cry when that happened. 'Cause I was like, oh, I hope somebody. But that's just my tidbit. I mean, that's just. Dare imagine 10 people standing in your room right now. That's a lot of people that had to decide that they wanted to watch you. I don't know. It's just I still think about it like that, and I think having that mindset, if my channel ever does grow to be a big size, is gonna help. And that's all I wanted to say.
That's it for this episode of Parallel Lives. We're going to have some links down in the description with some links to resources, and also to Mason Bright and Little Old B, their channels on YouTube. If you'd like to be part of the audience to like add questions while we're speaking with the guests, or if you'd like to be a guest, there's going to be a link down there to the Discord. Join, add the podcast role to yourself, and you'll get pings whenever we're working on a new episode. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
All right, yeah, it was a really good episode.
Yeah, it's something different. It's a lot more casual, which was nice.